back to Amanda's Bookish Adventures, and in this one, we're going to be talking about my favorite trope of romance, enemy to lovers. And these are some enemy to lovers releases. Some are already out, but some will be coming out for the rest of the year. I figured since it's February and it's Valentine's Day, well, it's not Valentine's Day for this video, but it is Valentine's Day is coming up, that we could talk about enemies to lovers that are coming out. Now, I have to give credit to what's credit's due. I found all this information out on an Instagram account that I follow that I love. It's uppercase YA, and they're absolutely amazing. They have recommendations, sequels, they get all this information, and I will try to link the handle down below, but definitely check them out. So the first one that is already out is Love at First Spite, and it came out on January 4th. So I thought I'd read to you the description for this one. And then after the description, I will show you the book cover. So falling in love is the ultimate payback in this delightful, breezy rom-com about an interior designer who teams up with a magic architect at her firm to get revenge on her ex the only way she knows how, to building a spite house next door. That sounds good. They say living is the best revenge, but sometimes spreading the misery seems a whole lot more satisfying. The interior designer Danny Porter is justified for buying the vacant lot next to her ex-fiance's house, the house they were supposed to live in together before he cheated on her with their realtor. Danny plans to build a vacation rental that will A, mess with his view and peace of mind, and B, prove that Danny is not someone to be stepped on. Welcome to Project Spite House. The plan quickly becomes complicated when Danny is forced to team up with Wyatt, I don't know if I'm going to say this correctly, Montiago, the handsome, hardy architect at her firm and the only person available to draw up the blueprints. Wyatt is terse and stern, the kind of man who eats a sandwich with a knife and a fork. But as they spend time together on and off-site, Danny glimpses something deeper beneath the hard to figure, something surprisingly vulnerable and real. And the closer she gets to her goal, the more she wonders if winning revenge could mean losing something indefinitely sweeter. So that sounds really good. And all these covers are illustrated, so I'm definitely glad to be showing you guys these covers. So I'll let you see the cover for Love at First Spite, and then I will be back to tell you about the rest. So the next one on my list is How to Love Your Neighbor, and it came out on January 18th, and it looks really good. Another illustrated cover. I'm really ecstatic. So it says, interior designer school, check. Cute house to fix up, check. Sexy grumpy neighbor who is going to get in the way of your plans, check. Unfortunately, Grace Travis has it all figured out between finishing school and working a million odd jobs. She'll get her degree and her dream job, but most importantly, she has a place to belong. Something her harsh mother could never make. And when an opportunity to fix up and live in a little house on the beach comes along, Grace is all in until her biggest roadblock moves next door. Noah Jensen knows how to make a deal. As a real estate developer, he knows when he's found something special. Something he even can call home, provided he can expand by taking over the house next door. The house with a combative and beautiful woman living in it. With the rules of being neighborly going out the window, Grace and Noah are on an all-out feud. But sometimes your nemesis can show you that home is always where the heart is. That sounds cute, but I think a couple of them are about being neighbors or being interior designers, so it'll be interesting to see. All right, I'll let you see the cover and I'll be back for the next one. I'm back. The next one, it is The Roughest Draft, came out on January 25th, and I have read previously from this author. This is these authors, this co-author, they're a married couple. This is the first time in the adult romance they've wrote mostly YA contemporaries. So 3 years ago, Katrina Freeling and Nathan Von Hewson were the biggest literary stars on the horizon. Their co-written books, top bestsellers on the top bestseller list, but on the heels of the greatest success, they ended their partnership on bad terms. For reasons neither would divulge to the public, they haven't spoken since and never plan to, except they have one final book due on contract. Facing the crossroads in their personal and professional lives, they're forced to reunite. The last thing they ever thought they'd do again is up in the teeny Florida town where they wrote their previous book, trying to finish a new manuscript quickly and painlessly. Working through the reasons they hated each other for the past 3 years isn't easy, especially not when writing a romantic novel. While the passion and prose push them closer together in Florida, Katrina, and Nathan will learn that the relationship, like writing, sometimes take a rough drafts before they get it right. So that sounds really good. But I think that's not the only book they have coming out this year, or at least in this first couple months. I believe they have a YA coming out too, based on their relationship. So I'm definitely really extremely excited to check this one out. It's about the publishing world, a co-author duo. It sounds really good and I'm looking forward to it. And the cover is another illustrated, so I'll let you see the cover and I'll be right back. The next one just came out a day before this one, is February 8th, Not the Witch You Wed. And this one I've seen even before this popped up and I've been really interested in this. I think I saw it back in December, or at least the cover, and I'm actually really excited. So it says, Magicless Violet Maxwell wants nothing to do with the alpha shifter Linking Thorn, the man who broke her fragile teenage heart. But the two of them are forced by the arcane supernatural laws to find mates. Violet and Lincoln agree to fake date their way to a fake mating in order to conjure themselves some time. The joke's on them when old feelings makes them reappear. When old feelings make a reappearance along with Violet's magic, they both realize there's nothing fake about the feelings. But there are old secrets and threats looming that could snatch away their happily ever after. Again, one thing's for sure, magic doesn't make dating and love any easier. So it sounds like it's enemies to lovers, but it also is fake dating. So definitely interesting, and I'm really excited to read it, and I definitely want to get my hands on it soon. This is one of my favorite covers in this video. I will let you see, and then I'll be back. So the next one is Mr. Wrong Number, and it is a March 1st release. So I'm really excited that we're getting to releases that aren't out yet. Bad luck always follows Olivia Marshall, or maybe she is a screw up. Maybe she's just the screw up her family thinks she is, but when a what are you wearing text from a random wrong number turns into the hottest, most entertaining Albert anonymous relationship of her life, she thinks things must be up on the upside. Colin Beck was always considered Olivia his best friend's annoying little sister. But when she moves in with them after one of her worst runs of luck, he realizes she turned into an altogether differently and sexier distraction. He's sure he can keep his distance until the moment he discovers she's irresistible. Miss Dial, he's been sort of sexting for weeks, and now he has to decide whether to turn up the heat or ghost her before things get messy. So that one does sound interesting, but it's not, I don't know, I would have to read it to see how I feel, but it does sound interesting. I just don't like ghosting, period, but it's a romance, so I don't think that would be involved, but I'm definitely intrigued by it, and it is another pretty cover. So our next book is By Any Other Name, and it is another March 1st release, so I'm very excited. We get 2 enemies to lovers in one day, so that's kind of cool. So this one is What She Doesn't Know About Love, She Could Feel a Book. With a successful career as a romance editor and an engagement to a man who checks off 99 boxes of her carefully curated list, Lainey's more than good. She's killing it. Then she's given the opportunity of a lifetime to work with world-renowned author and her biggest inspiration in love and life. No call away. All Lena has to do is cure Noah's writer block and she'll get a promotion she's always dreamed of. Simple, right? But there's a reason why no one's ever seen or spoken to the mysterious Noah Calloway, and the reason will rock Lainey's world. It will call into question everything she thought she knew when she's finally tossing her 99 expectations to the wind. Lainey might discover love by any other name could be sweeter, and it says it isn't enemies to lover. Romance. It does sound good. Interesting that we're getting some with fixer-uppers and more into the book world. It's very interesting to see how they'd play out, but the cover is another pretty one. The next one is Set on You. It is a May 10th release, which I think this one is one of the ones I really want to pick up. A gymnast pursues a fitness influencer to the max. In Amy Lee's steamy debut romantic comedy, I'm very happy it's a debut, curvy fitness influence Kristen Chen built her career shattering gym stereotypes and mostly annoying the trolls. After her recent breakup, she has a little stamina left for men, instead finding solace in the gym, her place of power and positivity. Enter the firefighters, Scott Ritchie, the smug new gym patron who routely steals her favorite squat rack. Sparks fly as these ultra-competitive foes battle for the gym domination. But after a series of escalating jabs, the last thing they expect is to run into each other at their grandparents' engagement party. Now that sounds cute. In the leading up to their grandparents' wedding, Crystal discovers there's a soft part under Scott's muscle interior bonding over family, fitness, and cheesy pickup lines. She must have found her swole mate, and it's swole mate, not soulmate. But when a photo of them goes viral, savage internet trolls put their budding relationship to the ultimate test of strength. This one sounds really cute, and it's probably one of the ones I would absolutely have to read on this list so far. This one is most intriguing. It's nothing to do with publishing or fixing up a house. This one is one of the most unique ones. I love that it's a plus size woman and it's body positivity, so I'm definitely intrigued by this one the most so far. So our next release is From Bad to Curse, May 17th, and it's queer, so you'll probably see this and again on May queer book releases for that month, but I'm ecstatic for this one. So it's opposites attract in a wickedly charming rom-com by Lana Harper Arthur, Payback's a Witch, which I really want to read. Wild Child Isadore, I'm not going to even pronounce the last name, is a thrill chaser, absent and deeming summoner, and despite the whole sexy evil sorceress vibe, also a cuddly animal lover. When she's not designing costumes and new storylines for the arcane Emporium haunted house, Issa's nursing a secret, conflicted dream of ditching her family's witchy business to become an indie fashion designer in her own right. But when someone starts sabotaging the celebrations leading up to this year's Beltide Festival with dark, dangerous magic, a member of the rival Thorne family gets badly hurt, throwing immediately suspicion on her family to clear her family's last name, which I cannot say, and step up for her family when they need her the most. Issa agrees to serve as a co-investigator, helping none other than Rowan Thorne to get to the bottom of things. Rowan is the very definition of lawfully good, so tragically noble, and by the book he makes Issa's teeth hurt. In accordance with their family's complicated history, he and Issa have been arch enemies for years and have grown heartily loathe each other, but as do follow a perplexing trails of clues, a stunning conclusion. Issa and Rowan discovers how they really know each other and stumble upon a maddening attraction becomes harder to annoy. Now on the bottom, if it does say it's queer, but I don't know. Rowan could, we'll see. I do know the first one in the first one in the companion was queer, and it does say queer, so I'm excited. Even if it's just some queer themes, I'm ecstatic that there is a sequel to Payback's the Witch, and this is really another stunning cover, and we have one more after this. I'm excited. We have our last one. It is called The Fixer Upper, and I don't think this has to do with fixing houses. So it says, in this funny, sharp, romantic comedy, a woman with a knack for turning boyfriends' lives around, starting a professional service to help wrangle men, only unexpectedly matched with an old flame. Ever since she can remember, Allie's been fixing everything around her, her parents' marriage, her colleagues' work problems, and her friends' love lives. After a chance meeting with an ex who has gone from a living in his parents' basement to married project manager in 3 years, she realized she's been fixing her boyfriends too. So Allie decides to put some of her talents to good use, and alongside 2 of her friends, set up the Fixer Upper, an exclusive underground service for women who are tired of unpaid emotional labor. Using little tricks and tips, Allie and her friends get men to do the work themselves and to get out of the job they hate. Sign up for the Grow Cinemar to do more parenting. Before long, a high Instagram star hires them to fix her app developer boyfriend. There's one catch. He's also Allie's childhood best friend and first love. As Allie tackles her biggest fixer-upper yet, she has to come to terms with their complicated history and figure out how much she can change to someone she's always thought was perfect as is. So that sounds really good. I'll let you see the cover and then I'll end this video. That is it for this Enemy to Lovers video. Please let me know which release sounds interesting to you. I'd love to hear. That is it for this video, as I have said. Bye for now.